The opportunity to talk about the important work of Backpacks for SA Kids today, who have recently packed their 100,000th bag. But before I get onto that, I do want to pay particular note to the fact that it is National Carers Week. And in Parliament today, we have dozens and dozens of guests who are representatives of carers associations and organisations, people who are and have been carers in South Australia, doing tremendously important work, not just for their, in many cases, loved ones, or many cases people that they had not prior had a connection with, but terrifically important for our whole state and our nation. There are 2.7 million carers across Australia, and the role that they play cannot be understated in terms of how important it is. Very pleased that during this National Carers Week, the Parliamentary Friends of Carers here in South Australia are giving recognition of this event with an event here in Parliament House, and I acknowledge particularly from our side, obviously, the Honourable Heidi Girolamo, who is the Liberal Party's co-chair of the Parliamentary Friends of Carers. I think the member for Adelaide, from memory, is the other co-chair. And after grievances, I understand that our guests will be going to the balcony room. I encourage them all to look forward to that. The balcony room is my favourite room in this building. It is the government party room, and being in the balcony room is a sign of better things to come from our side, as we hope to be there again in 2 years for our party room meeting. But it is one of the only rooms in this building where we can gather in large numbers and enjoy the natural light, so I think you'll have a lovely time. And I'm certain that the hospitality of the member for Adelaide and the Honourable Heidi Girolamo will be outstanding. I imagine also that a number of the people in the gallery from representing care organisations would also have had a lot to do with Backpacks for SA Kids, because of course Backpacks for SA Kids is an organisation that serves a lot of vulnerable people in our community. Some of those vulnerable people at different points will have ultimately had the support of carers as well. I remember in my electorate of Morialta, when we had those hills communities that were so devastatingly impacted by the 2019-20 bushfires, all of the children in those primary schools, in the difficult circumstances, many of whom whose houses had burnt down, and indeed many of whom, even if their houses hadn't burned down, they weren't able to be home for days or even weeks at a time, they all received a backpack from Backpacks for Kids. And I remember the Honourable Michelle Lensink joining Rachel Zeltron, OAM, the founder of Backpacks for Kids, in Lobethal, in what was then my electorate, to distribute a number of those backpacks, which was so gratefully appreciated. One of the key things about the backpacks provided by Backpacks for SA Kids is not just the provision of useful materials, whether that be clothing, whether that be toys for the little ones, or nappies, or bathroom products, or whatever else. It is the sense that each one of those backpacks has been packed by a volunteer, and indeed given the love. That love is transferred to the recipients of it. And a lot of the time, there are government programs can pay for provision of supplies or services to individuals in need. And they do, and they must, and that happens. But when you add on what the non-government organisation like Backpacks for Kids can provide, it is that love, and often it is one of the deficits in the recipient of it. It wasn't a celebration on Sunday when we gathered in the warehouse, it was a recognition of 100,000 backpacks. 86,000 children in South Australia, and indeed, obviously, 14,000 people in connected situations. There are the Anchor Pack programs, the Home Starter Pack programs, and the Christmas Drive. 86,000 children in South Australia having received a backpack is an indication of what more we need to do as a community and as a society. Government, Parliament, in our communities, in our streets, to help those who are in a vulnerable situation. It means there are 86,000 children who have been in a situation where a backpack has been needed. And the efforts of someone like Rachel, who was awarded an OAM in 2020, has been the founder in 2013, has been operating the work with support of just a couple of staff and an army of volunteers, has been so commendable. I really want to place on the record my congratulations. I'm looking forward to the reception at Government House this afternoon for those volunteers, recognising Backpack for Kids Works, and to all the Morialta residents who every single month donate goods, donate knitted products, donate all the things that come into our office that are then able to go into those backpacks with love. I thank all of them and remind everybody else that our office is a collection point and we make big deliveries every month, so get on board.